Hey y'all, it's Jaha Zainabu, and I am here. Today, I am here. Um, just, I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm thankful for this day. I'm thankful for all of you. I sit here sometimes and I record and I look in the camera, and sometimes I read stories. And lately, I've just been talking. And a lot of it is me archiving my story. A lot of it is, I don't know what this is for. I don't know what it does. I don't know what it gives to you. I don't know what you get from it. Um, I have I have taken to recording when I don't feel like it. What does that mean? Um, in the beginning, when I started this YouTube Storytime project, it was I would read poems, I would read stories for an hour, and I thought this project would be a collection of my written stories, of my collected poems, but it is morphing more into me talking. And I'm okay with that. I might go back to reading stories, who knows? I might go back to reading poetry, who knows? I'm in a space right now. I'm far from home. I'm in Atlanta. Home for me is California, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Um, and sometimes I feel far. And I didn't know why this space, but the more, the longer I'm here, in March will be 2 years. The longer I'm here, the more I'm seeing why. I needed to be this far because I needed the layers on layers of the onion that is my life to peel slowly. And that's happening. And I think I mentioned if it wasn't the last video, it could have been the one before that, about how people don't tell you the part of your healing journey where you get angry, where you feel like, wait a minute, wait, what? Uh, where you thought like, oh, I thought it was this, and it really wasn't that, it was this. And so I'm having conversations with friends and with family, and um, I had a painful conversation recently with a family member, with my mother. And we were deep diving into yesterday. And I'm learning about stories that clash with the romanticized view I had of some people. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. Um, and it's, and so it's a little jarring. I'm in that kind of space. Like, um, some of these stories I knew, and but now hearing them again in this space. But even when I knew of those stories, I made excuses. I and it's part of what I used to do. I took a lot of shit from a lot of people. Um, I took shit out at 26 that I wouldn't take at 56. At 26, you could damn near, I don't know, do anything, say anything. And I would make the excuse of, oh, she's going through a lot. Oh, hurt people hurt people. Oh, I'm going to pray for her, him, it. At 56, I'm not so much. I mean, I might say a prayer or two, and I'm not that big and bad. I don't throw hands like that. I'm not her. Um, but I don't stay where I'm not welcome or valued. I don't stay. I don't really care what's going on with you. I care in the a human sense of I hope, shit works out, but I don't put anybody's concerns over mine. I'm going through something too. I'm a hurt people too. Um, and when I hurt people, I apologize for it. I don't give myself the same pass that I give other people, so other people don't deserve it. Um, I don't give chances that I gave at 26 to nobody, to anybody. Um, I don't know if I mentioned this in a video before or not, but about maybe it was a month ago, I was at the gym, and while I'm at the gym, um, an older white man just made me feel uncomfortable, um, to the extent that I felt the need to report it to the general manager. And so I did. It was not my request that this man be, banned from the gym. That wasn't it. But I did want them to note that this asshole, dot, dot, dot. I wanted them to know. So the general manager, she did call me, and she was like, Jaha, I'm sorry. I did look at the tape, and I saw whoop de whoop. I do know that customer, and I'll give him a call, and I'll follow up with you. And I haven't. It's been a month, and I haven't received a call. I haven't received an email, and so I don't go. I don't go to that gym anymore. And I loved going to that gym. I loved to swim. I loved sitting in the hot tub. I love how clean it was. I love walking on the treadmill. I love doing the shit I did there. But I didn't feel valued. And so no. I will walk around the mall 14 times before I pay $38 a month to not feel valued. And that might seem petty. To 26-year-old me, that would have seemed petty. But to 56-year-old me, I'm like, if I make a report about something and the only thing you promise me is that you will get back to me and you don't do that, I don't know if I don't know what's going to happen if some Karen comes up to me out of pocket and I report that. I don't know what's going to happen or not happen with that either. And you don't get 2 times to tell me I'm not valued. So when I say I leave the first time, I leave the first time. And that's how I'm feeling these days. I don't know how. So I started this video by saying that I have taken to recording when I don't feel like it. I do that because, and I don't really feel like it right now. It's kind of late. I don't know what time it is, but I don't really feel like it in this moment. I'm still feeling a way about the conversation that I had last night with my mother. Not against my mother, but about things that we discussed, about people that came up. And like I would always, there's a certain way that I would always speak about my dad. And I love my dad, I do. But there's a certain romanticized way that I would always speak about my dad that I don't feel right now. And don't confuse this. I'm not saying that I don't love my father. And my father is gone right now. My father passed away in 2009. And so I have to work this out within me. I have to work this out with him from across the veil. But I have questions. So why, what was the plan? And I have to deal with that. And And so that's a part of what I'm dealing with. And when I say I'm taking to doing videos when I don't feel like it, this project, this YouTube project, I plan to go to 365. So if you notice, I know I number the videos, Storytime with Jaha Zainabu, say, I don't know, 42, 43 slash 365. So in the end, there will be 365-hour videos of me peeling onion layers, whatever that looks like. But if I only do that during times that I feel like it, it's going to look like 365 hours of me in a certain really peaceful, spiritual mood. And that's not the plan. It's really flat. It's really one note. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with 365 hours of me really thanking God for my life. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not the intention. That's not what I was going for. I'm going for many sides of me, including the side of me that feels angry and ashamed for feeling angry about the embarrassingly low self-esteem I grew up with, which had me choose wildly disrespectful partners, romantic partners. Because of what I knew. What I knew was you 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 like who likes you. I grew up feeling lucky that somebody liked me. And that's not how you choose partners. Because a lucky woman is dangerous to herself. A lucky woman is deadly to herself. A lucky woman will accept crazy lies and crazy mistreatment. A woman feeling lucky will lie to herself. A woman feeling lucky will stay longer than she needs to stay. And that's what I always did. And when you mix lucky with religion, that's a toxic, horrible combination. Because now you have this woman who feels lucky, and then you have religion that tells her, or the church that tells her, that teaches her stuff like turning the other cheek, which has her take it literally. You have the old women in the church who have centered men in most harmful of ways and feel like you should too. You have preachers who are men. I remember I was in a Bible class, and it was the adult Bible class, but I was there with my grandmother. And the Bible study teacher, who was also a minister, said, women, you don't, what did he say? He said, women, you don't divorce your husbands just because they cheat on you. And like, inside that felt wrong, but I must be the wrong one because here this minister is, who is older than I am, smarter than I am, obviously closer to God than I am. That must be the rule. That must be it. That must be true. And it wasn't true. It was harmful. It was malpractice. It was evil. It was toxic. But I believed it. And I accepted that. And not only did I accept it because this minister said it, I accepted that because it's what I saw. I saw my mother do it. My father cheated, my mother stayed. I saw, I saw that. So that's what you do. Yeah, that's what you do. And then, but there's no balance for me. Like, there wasn't balance. And I don't know if I've talked about this before on other videos. If I have, deal. I probably will again until I have worked out this anger. I probably will again. You will deal. And for me now at 56, who is crazy comfortable in her home. Like, I love my space. I love my space. I love my time. I love my solitude. I love, I feel like I don't know who the dude is that could show up that would make me feel like I need this dude in my life. I don't know who he could be. I don't know what he could bring. My bills are paid without him. I always have fresh flowers. I love my own food. I love my own art. I love my own music. I love my clean home. I love the peace and solitude that I have. But I do wish that there was a time, and maybe that person is there, like, in the world. I don't know. I do wish, though, that there was a time. I wish there was a person that I could look back on and say, you know what, that one, like, that would have been cool if that worked out. There's no person. I was looking at Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, one of the socials the other day, and somebody said women don't have the one that got away. We have the one we are lucky we got away from. And I have that. I have all of them. I have all of them. And so when I say all of them, have there been men who I liked and, that I was romantically involved with? Yeah, there have been men who liked me who I was romantically involved with. But the few that there were, we didn't last long as romantic partners. I think it was very quickly discovered that, you know what? We thought, because we were so cool, that the natural next step was that we should be together, and that's not what it is. And we quickly, like, no. And because of that decision, we're still friends. So there are about 2 guys that I feel that way with, that I love. Now I have a host of male friends who are men who I love. We've never, but I'm not including them in my romantic partners because that's not what we were. But I look back on my relationships and for the most part, they were trash. Not because this is not a, these dudes ain't shit conversation, but it's these dudes treated me like shit because I did not have the self-esteem or confidence that they would treat me any other way. And so sometimes I get angry about that. Like, I'll get angry about that. Yeah. And you know, my pause was because I was thinking about there's a guy when I was in high school. The guy that I think I in high school anyway, or my younger life, that I liked the most, I never met. I talk about him in my book, my ebook, Deep Down Memory Lane, and his name was Trent. And we never met. How did we know each other? My best friend in high school, her name was Drish. Drish had a friend, a male friend named Trent. And Trent was a big time basketball star in high school. He was that guy that everybody knew was going pro. He was that guy that maybe he wasn't going to college, but he was going pro, or he was that guy. Well, Trent and Drish were very good friends, and I think they were together, and I think Trent saw a picture of Drish and me together, and like, who is that? No, that's my friend Robin. My name's Robin. That's my friend Robin. And so it's high school, and so she calls me on a three-way, and Trent is on the phone. Hey girl, this is my friend Trent. Hi Robin, nice to meet you. Hi Trent. So we start talking. And so Drish in the conversation was like, okay, you don't need me anymore. So she kind of backs out of the call. But Trent and I, we would talk every night. Like every night we talked. And he was this big time basketball high school star. But we never talked about basketball. The most we might talk about basketball was him saying, oh, I had a weird day at practice. Whatever. I was Robin. Nothing fancy. I was church girl. But I never talked about church. With Trent, I talked about stories that I wrote. I talked about dreams. I talked about, I don't remember. But I was very free with him. And I felt beautiful to a man who never saw me. I felt very self-assured. I felt comfortable. And we had talked about meeting, but there was no rush because there was actually no place where we could be more free than we were on the phone. Like, Trent had a car. And so he had more freedom than I did. For me, I didn't date. It's high school. I didn't date. And so where were we going to be? On my mom's front porch with, her staring at us? Like, that wasn't cool. So we just had more freedom on the phone. And we talked every night. We talked all the time. And then one night, Trent was out in his 280Z. And some guy in Compton carjacked him and made him lie on the ground. And he shot him twice in the head. And Trent died. And and Drish, my best friend, did not know how much Trent and I talked on the phone. And so when she told me, it was kind of, told me in her grief, like, oh my God, Trent died. He got shot in the head, girl. Like, wait, what? And so I had nobody to give that to, like who was I going to? Not Drish, because that was her friend and she was grieving. So and I had nobody to really say that to, because it's like, you didn't even know him. He didn't even know you, So I never saw a picture of Trent, ever. I don't know what he looks like. I imagine what his body I imagine he was tall because he was a basketball player, but they aren't all tall. I imagine he was rather thin because he was a basketball player, but I guess they aren't all thin. I was dark, light. I don't know. Did he have a Jerry girl? Did he have a bald head? Did he have an afro? I don't know. I don't know. I know that I was free with him. I was not church girl. I was not um, any of the other. I was not anything else that was my identity. I was just Robin. That's it. That's it. And I could be free with him. And he could be free with me. He didn't have to be a star. He didn't have to be on. I didn't even care about basketball. I still don't. I didn't care. And he could just be that. And that kind of freedom. I'm not sure how I started talking about this. Um, I don't know where any of these videos are going. I just think that one day I won't be on this planet. And maybe I'll have a grandchild or a great niece or a great nephew or another writer that might stumble on these videos and go, who's this? Who's she about? And now they know. um, and I just think it's kind of cool that, like, I think about who my favorite writers are, some of my favorite people in history. And well, I still do. I was going to say I used to. I still do. I go down the YouTube rabbit hole of Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, Alice Walker. And I like to look at interviews of them talking to people. And I would have loved being able to just scroll and see videos of them talking into a camera about whatever the fuck they wanted to talk about. I would have loved that. I don't know that I'm somebody's favorite writer or poet or person or whatever. I don't know. Um, I don't know. But I am a person. I am a black woman. And there are other black women out there. I am a mother. And there are other mothers. I do live with bipolar. I do know what it is to be hella depressed. I do know what it is to live with suicidal ideations. I do know what it is to have a relationship with an energy that I call God. That is not a traditional relationship. It is not one defined by any organized religion. And there are other people out there like me, like I am. And I am a painter, and there are other painters in the world. And so I know that I connect to other people. I know that there are other people like me. And there might be another being in the world who is like, you know what? I feel like connecting with a being in the world like me. And whether or not I am on the planet, I'm still here. I'm still here, baby. I feel a lot better today. Now, I feel a lot better now than I felt earlier. Um, um, you know, I think, when we grow up, we go through things like this where we have to, you know, I was going to say when the wool is lifted over our eyes and people we thought were like these great people, but that implies that these people are not great people. I'm really talking about my dad right now, and I love him, and I just am angry right now. My dad is a great person. And um, I am left dealing with his humanity. Yeah. I never saw my dad as this perfect being. I never saw him that. My father had issues. Um, my father, all of my life, was an alcoholic. Um, I never knew him sober. And I don't just mean I never knew him taking time off of alcohol and in that time he called himself sober. No, I mean I never knew him not inebriated. Ever knew him that way. Ever. And even in the space of that, he was a man I loved. He was the first man I loved. He was my dad. He was my dad. He was hella funny. There just isn't anybody in my life funnier, you know. He could make me laugh like nobody's business. He could make everybody laugh like nobody's business. Um, but he was also as dangerous as a pit bull, meaning not intentionally violent or dangerous, but you know how a pit bull wants to play, but a pit bull is not conscious of that it's a pit bull and it's still a big dog and it still has claws, but it's just playing. But there are effects to its playing, its play. So there were times like that. There were times that um, there was too much play. And then the older I get, the more I'm willing to sit with it. The more I'm willing to sit with it. There were times that there was only play. And then I sit with it longer and I talk real with myself. And then I'm looking back and I love my dad, and I keep telling myself that, and I keep telling you that, but I'm telling myself that. I did love him. But I don't, my dad never really did anything that a 17-year-old wouldn't do. Never. Like good or bad, you know. Like the good stories, times when he track to a 17-year-old would do that. And things and immature things that he did track to a 17-year-old would do that. I wouldn't even do that. A 17-year-old would cheat on his wife or girlfriend like that. A 17-year-old would do it like that. A 17-year-old would lie like that. A 17-year-old would do that. And then accepting that, and then having to accept times that, okay, a 17-year-old would do that, but what about the way that could have gone? What about how it was just the grace of God that people didn't die because you was mad. You were mad and you did do X. And people could have not been here because and then what was the plan? What were you gonna say? Oopsie. Like, so there were things. And like all of that wrapped inside of, and it's my dad and I love him. And I think the freedom I have of telling stories like this is that nobody is watching these videos really. Um, and so I feel like I can, I don't know, say what I want to say. If you're out there, hi. Um, yeah, I hope that you're well. I hope that you have a most enjoyable evening. And I hope that you're telling your story somewhere to someone in some way. Peace.